Hey guys, it's Tammy. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to share a project with you. If you are following my blog or friends with me on Facebook, you might know that I recently joined the design team for my local scrapbook store, which is Scrapbook Island. I completed one project for November, which I posted. I created a post for that project on my blog, and now I just received my second design team kit for December. And what I thought I'd do was show you what I received and then maybe check in along the way or show you just the final project depending on how things go. So let me just get started. So what I received is basically product for the Amy Tangerine line, which is manufactured by American Crafts, and it's a really fun line. So the main, I think the main, what the project will be centered around is this mini book that is part of the Amy Tangerine line. So let me just show you a little bit of the packaging and I'll give you an idea of what it is. This is just a picture of the book opened with an example of how they've used it. And it's just this really fun little book that has tons of different papers and different colors and sizes on the inside. So this is it, and it measures roughly 5.5 by about 8.5. And the cover, and this goes all the way to the back too, has this acetate sheet that's been printed on, and it has a wood grain background and then this cute little camera. And then this cover is just kind of a cardstock weight paper, and as you can see it has all these great papers, and what I want to do is just go to the middle and kind of give you a feel for what's in here. So in the very middle is this just a plain envelope, and then all of the other papers just basically span both sides of the book. So what's in the first half is also in the second half. So I'm just going to kind of go backwards here and show you the first half. So there's this great map paper, and has this beautiful, I love this blue that's in this collection, this blue paper that has some stamps on it. So it has a lot of a travel theme to it. This great paper with the typewriter that also reappears in the line on a yellow graph paper. And this paper has kind of a parchment feel to it. This is a cute little addition. It's like well, it says guest check, kind of an what a waitress would use to take, waiter or waitress would use to take an order, a food order. And then behind that is a scalloped circle. This pattern also reoccurs in the line, as does this this image of people. It also reappears in the line. And this is a really good sampling of the colors in this paper line. I really, really love the tone of this color line, or the colors in the line. And then there's this kind of really unexpected bamboo silver metallic image. Some green cardstock, some fuchsia colored cardstock, and then lined paper, and then another pattern paper. This is kind of a chevron, and this page with feathers on it. So that's it. That's the book. And that, like I said, that's going to be kind of the main feature of this project. Now I'm going to show you the 12 by 12 papers that I received that go with the line. I'm not going to be able to fit them in the camera completely, but you'll get an essence of what I have. So there's this sheet that has, this is the main image, and the rest of it is just kind of a cream color. And then this is the back side of that same paper. I have 2 sheets of each paper, which is always nice because, you know, then you can utilize both sides. This paper is kind of a fuchsia color with a yellow grid line, and this is the other side of that. It has these images that reoccur: the sewing machine, airplane, key, typewriter, hanger. It's kind of a random selection. The camera. These images kind of reoccur in the paper line. And then there's this kind of an avocado green with a diagonal stripe, and all of the papers have that retail strip, and on the back side there's a nice pattern that you can use, and it's perforated, so you can just tear that off. And this is the other side of that paper. It's a gray and kind of a cream color floral print. And then I also have this paper, which is brown and white, or brown and kind of a cream color. And then this is the back side of that paper with a bunch of different frames on it. And then the background of this is a wood grain. So I have those 12 by 12 papers, and then they have kind of a special selection of what they call stitched papers. And this paper just has this image of the star in the camera in the bottom left corner, and it's a cream color, and then it has this stitching around all around the paper. And this is the other stitched paper that I have. It has that reoccurring image of people and the heart in the bottom right corner with that stitched element all around it. And then the other specialty paper is this fabric paper. And I'll try to get close so you can see the woven texture of the fabric. And it has a really good sampling of the colors in this line, in the dots. And what's really nice about this is it's the back is literally paper, so somehow the fabric is adhered to the paper, and it's really easy to use. I've used something like this before. It's really easy to use when you're crafting because you can just use your regular adhesive that you would use on paper to stick down the fabric. So along with that, I received some other goodies. I have the decorative tape that's part of the Amy Tangerine line. And I've opened this already, and it's really nice. It's very much like the washi tape that you might be familiar with, very thin, and you can see through it a little bit. I have these burlap pendant pieces, and these are not part of the line. These are by Canvas Corp, which I've never used before or seen, but I think those will be fun to use. So I have those, and then I have a sampling of some bling, some felt flowers, some fabric flowers, a charm, which I'll probably color with some alcohol inks. But that's about it, I think, for what's in there. Oh, I have this little interesting frame which resembles one of the frames on one of those papers. So there's that. And then I have the thickers that are part of the line. They are printed fabric letter stickers, and they're really nice. I've taken these out of the packaging and played with them a little bit as well. And then last but not least, I have some trims to play with. So I have this burgundy colored rickrack, this gray ribbon, and this turquoise crochet trim, and they all go with the line perfectly. So whoever picked these out did an awesome job. I don't think these actually are part of the line. Scrapbook Island has an amazing selection of trims, so I think they pulled these from their trim collection. So that's everything that I'm going to be working with. So I will check in with you as I go along. Hey guys, I am back with my finished project, and before I show you that, I just wanted to mention a few things that I added, that I brought into the mix to complete the project. So I added a few inks. So these color box chalks were a perfect match with the paper line. So I used Berrylicious, Prussian Blue, and charcoal. So if you're thinking about getting the Amy Tangerine paper, those are a great match if you're going to do any stamping. And then for stamps, I used a few Hero Art stamps. So this unmounted dot, I don't have the name of it, but it's this size. And I used this wood grain, which is, I think, designer wood grain, and then this graph, which is called, oh, let me get it in there, graph background. So those 3 Hero Art stamps, and then I used the stamp set from Crafty Secrets, which is called Take Flight, and I used this small banner, the bird, this border stamp, and also this flower. And so this is a fairly new stamp set for me that I actually picked up when I was at Scrapbook Island, and I've just been using this like crazy, not just on this project, but it's great for cards and a few other things, so I've really been enjoying that. And then I also brought in some just craft cardstock. I really needed that to break up the patterns. And I also used a selection of embroidery floss, twine, and this is kind of a more of a linen type material that I used. So these were just great matches also for the paper line. So I also used a number of punches and dies, but I'm not going to go into those. You'll probably see them and hopefully recognize them in the project. And if you don't and you want to know where they came from, just message me here on YouTube or on my blog, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So here's the cover. I'll just give you a little up close scan, kind of a piece by piece scan. So I added some of the trim and ribbon that I got over to the side. Little bit on top. This is one of the flowers that came with the kit, and I cut that in half, have a couple of punches there. I also did some paper piercing and tied in some embroidery floss here, and then I added the title, Fun in the Sun. I wanted to keep it kind of generic because what happens with these projects is they go to the store and they're on display there to inspire people. And at the end of the year, they have a raffle for, I believe it funds the Susan G. Komen Fund. So all the projects that are created by the design team go on raffle for where the proceeds benefit Susan G. Komen. So this will at one point, or at the end of the year, at the end of next year, will get raffled off. And so I wanted to keep the title and other things kind of generic. So these flowers here were also part of the kit, and I used the alphas for a stem for the flower, and did a little sewing work here with the embroidery floss and the ribbon, and added some of the tape down here. So that was kind of fun. And then this pattern paper in the background with the sun and the cloud, that was one of the 12 by 12 pieces that I cut down and just glued it to the cardstock, which was the original cover. And then on the inside, I created a pocket. So this paper is the same one that's on the front. I just folded it over and cut it at a diagonal. And then I made, so that created a pocket, and I made this little notebook that goes inside. And I just had some graph paper on hand, so I just cut some pieces of that to fit in here, and I figured this could be for journaling or pictures as well, can go inside of there. So that's just going to tuck in right there. And then on this side, so this paper with the feathers and this white paper were in the book, and I made a little pocket, so this paper got glued down to the white lined paper. I added this strip to create the bottom of the pocket, and then these tags come out, and they're pretty simple. I just used the stamps to decorate, and ribbons and embroidery floss and flower, and the stamp doesn't fit the length of the tag, so I just kind of added tapes and paper on the bottom of most of them. And then the backs are just blank, and those can be used for journaling or photos. So that's those two pages. And then it opens up again to another page with a pocket that's cut at a diagonal, and another two tags that are made in the same way. And those just slip in there. And on this side, this piece right here is one of the 12 by 12 pieces that I cut down. I folded it over right here, so this is, the back side, the front side. Added some tape here. I have a die cut here, and all of the phrases that that are in this book, I just typed out on my computer and printed in gray on my printer, and that kind of picks up the gray that's in that appears in the pattern paper. So this is a long piece that's just been folded over here, and it opens up like this. So this pink paper and this green paper were in the book. I've just adhered each one down to create a couple of more pockets. So this right here is a pocket, and then back here is a pocket. And this just folds open here, and this is a nice place for a large picture or journaling. I also created this flower by just punching out a circle and then pleating I used the tape, and so I just pleated the tape around the circle, punched out another circle on top, and just did a little crisscross with some embroidery floss there. And again, use the alphas for a stem for the flower. I had a number of those, so I wanted to put them to use in the book. Okay, so this page, so this is the back of the piece that I cut out. And I added the burlap banner there, and then just layered it with that fabric paper, then punched out a heart. The heart is a reoccurring theme in the paper, so I have a few punches of hearts that you'll see throughout the book. And then next, so this was just one piece of craft paper that I cut to the size that actually was consistent with the pages that were adjacent to it. And then folded it in half, and then I taped it down on this side, taped it down on that side to create a couple of simple pages that have tabs and a little bit of stamping and embroidery that I did down here. And then the same on the back side, and have that occurring up there. And then on the back side of that page. So that was kind of fun to do. And then over here, this white page with the silver bamboo pattern was in the book, and I punched out a few circles and just added those to that bamboo paper. And on the 12 by 12 paper, these appear as diagonal, but I just, shifted them so that they became straight lines, and I thought those would be nice to journal in. And then the bamboo shape here makes nice little open spaces for journaling as well. So the next few pages I just left as is until you get to the very center, which is this page. And if you remember, there was an envelope here, just a plain white envelope. And what I did was just cover it with one of the 12 by 12 papers that I cut down. And then with the other part of the paper, I just made a little insert that can hold photos or be used for journaling. So that goes in there, and then again a few pages that I just left as they were. And here's another insert similar to that craft piece that I put in. I cut down the paper, folded it in half, taped it down on each side, and then just added some tabs. This page I left as is, and this is a kind of a pull-out page that opens up like that. So lots of space for pictures on that front side, and then also on the back side of that. And then on the other side of that is another pocket that I created, and it has the two tags. And then on this white ruled paper that is the last page in the book, I just did some stamping, added some tape. And then in the back, I glued this down to make a pocket. This heart was cut out from a 12 by 12. Added a tag here, and this I like to put my information in the book. So whoever buys it at the end of the year will have that information. And then there's also one last little kind of mini book in a mini book in a tag shape. This acrylic heart was in the kit, and it was clear, and I just used some alcohol ink to color it green to match the green in the collection. So this just opens up at the top. There's a little score line that I made, and it just opens up to a few sheets of graph paper that can be used for journaling or for pictures. And then this is the back. I ended it with that heart, did some more stitching, and that's it. That's my book. This was a really, really super fun paper line to work with, and I think it can be used for a lot of different things. So I definitely recommend getting the Amy Tangerine line and having some fun with it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Here, I might just wait until the end when it's completely done, or check in periodically. So that's it. Wish me luck, and I'll check back in with you in a few. Thanks. Bye.